So parasites actually these are the organism which derives their nourishment and shelter from another organism, and that another organism is what? Another organism is known as host. Another organism is known as host. So in this lecture we will discuss important parasites of human being as well as domestic animals. So important protozoan parasites, these are very important, and few parasites causes many important diseases. For example, malaria. Malaria is caused by which parasite? Plasmodium. There are 4 species which parasitizes human being and they causes malaria. So first of all, you will learn some important parasitic flagellates of human and domestic animals. In this, the first is Leishmania donovani. Leishmania donovani actually very important flagellate, and it causes Kala-Azar. Kala-Azar is caused by Leishmania donovani, and principal host is not host specific, but it is found in many hosts such as human, dogs, cats, horses, sheep, cattle. These are all hosts of this parasite. Habitat: this parasite is found in spleen, bone marrow, liver, monocytes. These all cells, because these cells are of reticuloendothelial cells. Characteristic feature that there is a eccentric rounded nucleus in this parasite, and you know it causes the disease Kala-Azar. Leishmania tropica, it is found in dogs, human being, and it is found, the habitat of this parasite is dermal sores, that is skin, and it causes oriental sore, a very important disease, oriental sore. Next species is, next parasite is Leishmania brasiliensis. Leishmania brasiliensis is found in human, dogs, monkeys, and it is found in dermal sores, but especially mucous membrane. Therefore, it causes mucocutaneous leishmaniasis, right? Mucocutaneous leishmaniasis, because parasite is found in the mucous membrane. Next is Trypanosoma brucei gambinus. This parasite causes a very important disease, and it is known as sleeping sickness, and it is found in humans, monkeys, antelopes. They act as reservoir hosts, and dogs. Reservoir hosts are, what does it mean? What are reservoir hosts? Those hosts which once becoming infected, they act as a source of infection. So such hosts are known as reservoir hosts. It is found in the blood, lymph, and you know the parasite is characterized by the presence of an undulating membrane, which is used for the locomotion of this parasite, and it causes virulent Gambian trypanosomiasis, that is sleeping sickness. Next parasite is Trypanosoma brucei rudescens, and it is found in humans, wild game, domestic animal. Habitat is blood, lymph, and it causes Rhodesian trypanosomiasis, also sleeping sickness, right? Third one, the species of Trypanosoma is Trypanosoma cruzi. Trypanosoma cruzi, principal hosts are humans, cats, dogs, monkeys, squirrel, and the habitat is found in blood, and this species of Trypanosoma is usually C or U shaped. This is the characteristic feature, and it causes Chagas disease. So Chagas disease is caused by which parasite? Trypanosoma cruzi. Now flagellates. So this the Trypanosoma equiperdum, it is found in horses, cattle, donkeys, and it is habitat is genitalia, internal reproductive organ, and it causes Down disease in these all animals, horses, cattle, donkeys. Trypanosoma evansi, it is found in mules, horses, donkey, cattle, dogs, camel, elephants, and habitat is blood. This blood parasite, hemoflagellate, and it causes Surra disease in these all animals. Trypanosoma brucei, principal hosts are horses, donkeys, mules, camels, cattle, swine, dogs, and habitat is blood. This parasite is found in the blood of these animals, and it is pleomorphic, that is, it can live in different type of shape and size. It causes a very fatal disease in these animals, and this is Nagana disease. Trypanosoma congolens, it is found in cows and other domestic animals. Habitat is blood. It is monomorphic, not pleomorphic, and there is no free flagella. It causes bovine trypanosomiasis. Trypanosoma vaginalis, this parasite is very important, and it is found in human being, especially in female reproductive organ. And here cytostome is also not distinct, and it causes vaginitis. So these are important flagellates. One is very important, Giardia intestinalis. Now its name has been changed by taxonomists, and it is now known as Giardia duodenalis. So later on we will discuss in the next lecture Giardia duodenalis, also known as Giardia lamblia. So it is the principal host, human being. Habitat is intestine, and the main characteristic feature is that the body is pear shaped, and it is one of the important protozoan having bilateral symmetry. Imagine, all protozoans are asymmetrical, but this parasite shows bilateral symmetry, and there are two nuclei, two exostyle for the supporting their structure, and there are 4 pairs of flagella. It causes giardiasis, very important disease. Next, amoebae, parasitic amoebae of humans and domestic animals, and Amoeba histolytica. It is found in humans and other mammals. It is found, habitat is large intestine, and important characteristic feature that it is provided with ecto and endoplasm, vacuoles and closed host cells, centric endosome, and causes amoebiasis, and also known as amoebic dysentery, right? Gingivalis, Entamoeba gingivalis, very important species of Entamoeba. Principal host, humans, dog, cats, monkeys. Habitat is, it lives in the mouth, and it has distinct ecto and endoplasm vacuoles, rarely present, and it encloses, if it is present, then it encloses erythrocytes. It causes periodontitis. Now, important sporozoans. Sporozoans, as you know that we discuss about malaria, right? Malaria parasite, that is Plasmodium. So there are 4 species of Plasmodium parasitizing human being. These are Plasmodium vivax. It causes benign, simple or tertiary malaria. Plasmodium falciparum. It causes there are many names for this type of malaria. Malignant tertiary. The malaria caused by this parasite is very fatal, and it is found in tropical and subtropical countries, known as tropical. It causes tropical malaria or malignant tertiary malaria. P. malariae, it causes quartan malaria because fever comes after 72 hours. Here fever is irregular, but in this fever comes after 48 hours. P. ovale, it causes ovale tertiary malaria. So these all 4 species of parasite, that is Plasmodium sporozoan, It causes malaria. Leukocytozoon, these are malaria malaria parasite, parasites of birds. These are found in birds, and they have a no erythrocytic trophozoite stage. There is a stage in the red blood capsules, and this stage is known as trophozoite stage, that is feeding stage. And they undergo exoerythrocytic schizophrenia in the parenchyma of a number of organs, especially liver, spleen, heart, and brain. So this parasite leukocytozoon is found in the birds. Hemoproteus, this parasite belongs to birds. It is found in birds and reptile blood parasite of these animals. Babesia, very important. It causes bovine babesiosis, and it is also known as red water fever. And domestic, it is found in domestic animals: sheep, cattle, goat, horses, pig, and dog, cat. These are all animals are host for this parasite. Next is Balantidium coli. This parasite, it is largest protozoan parasite of human. It is found in the intestine of insect, fish, amphibian, and mammals. So these are parasites, important parasites, which are found in human being as well as domestic animals. Now, digenetic trematode. What do you mean by trematode? Trematode means trema means hole. Odos means form, means this hole refers to the suckers, and oral sucker, there are two suckers in the trematodes, and you know that the sucker, here you can see that suppose there are two suckers in trematodes, and you can see here that this is known as oral sucker because it surrounds mouth. So that trema word refers to the hole found in the oral sucker, in the center of the oral sucker. This sucker is known as ventral sucker or acetabulum. So these suckers helps in the attachment of the parasite with the organs of the host. So trematodes, if completes their life cycle on two hosts, then such trematodes are known as digenetic trematodes, and they are kept in a class known as Digenia. And those trematodes which have only one host in their life cycle, then these all parasites are known as monogenetic trematodes. So monogenetic or monogenia, these all parasites are found on the gills of the fishes. So we can collect them, we can preserve them, and we can study these all parasites, and we give a new name for these all monogenetic trematode as well as digenetic trematodes. So these monogenetic trematodes, these are found on the gills of the parasites. So you can start your research on these parasites very well, and you can discover new species, you can synonym different species, right? So here you can see digenetic trematodes. First is very important, blood fluke. Blood flukes, that is Cystosoma species, and Cystosoma species, this genus is found in human as well as domestic animals. Cystosoma mentioned, the principal host human being, it is found in the blood, and here the main characteristics, important thing is that the male and female, they are pair. Male actually it is provided with a very important canal, and this canal is known as gynecophoric canal. So body of female is held by male. This is very important characteristic and point of identification. there are some tuberculations on the body of male and 6 to 9 testes. It causes schistosomiasis. These all three species causes schistosomiasis. Come. Now next is Schistosoma japonicum. It is found in human, dog, cat, rat, mice, cattle. These all animals. Found habitat is blood, and here you can see that some spinous structures are present on the tegument of male. Here testis is fixed, their number is fixed, that is there are 7 testes. It also causes schistosomiasis. Schistosoma hematobium, it is there. This parasite is found in humans and monkeys, and habitat is blood. Here you can see that tegumental tuberculations are present on the body of that the surface of the male is provided with tegumental tuberculations. So that these all differences can be they can be very important for the taxonomist, because on these features taxonomists can differentiate different type of species, and this is a very important point of research. And disease is the schistosomiasis, as the name implies. Next is Fasciola hepatica. Right? Fasciola hepatica, liver flu, very important and very famous parasite, and is found in wild as well as in liver. Human, sheep, cattle, these are the principal hosts for this parasite. And as you know that it is the body is cone shaped, and it forms a lobe like an oral lobe on which oral sucker is there, and it is provided with the mouth. So it causes a very important liver rot or fascioliasis disease. Fasciola gigantica. This parasite is found in horses, cattle, sheep, and it is found in liver, bile duct. Structure is more or less similar, but it is larger in size. It causes Fascioliasis gigantica. Now next is Fasciolopsis buscae. Fasciolopsis buscae is very important, and it is found in the duodenum, jejunum part of the small intestine, and principal hosts are humans, pig. The main characteristic feature of this parasite is that it has ovate body, and testes are highly branched. So we can technical or in research word we can say that it is testes are highly dendritic, right? But it means that dendritic means that testes are highly branched, finger-like structure as well. Disease is Fasciolopsiasis on the name of the parasite, right? Dacrocilium dendriticum. Principal hosts are sheep, cattle, goat, horses, pig, rabbit, dogs, as well as sometimes it may cause humans. Disease in humans. It is found in liver, bile duct. The habitat is bile duct and liver. And main characteristic is that the body is cylinder shaped or lancet shaped, and extremities are pointed, and it causes disease dacrociliasis. Next parasite is Clonorchis sinensis. Clonorchis sinensis is found in human being, dogs, cat, and domestic animal, and habitat is small intestine. It has deeply lobed testes, and disease is clonorchiasis. Echinostoma iocanum. This parasite actually is found in human, rat, dogs, and habitat is small intestine. It causes colic, diarrhea in these all animals. Next is Paragonimus westermani, and it is found in domestic animal, for example cat, dog, and human being. The habitat of this parasite is encapsulated in form of encapsulation, and actually in lungs. So it is known as lung fluke. You can see that these parasites have no serous pouch or serous, that is copulatory organ, and deeply lobed testes are there, and it causes the disease paragoniasis. So these are very important trematodes. Now cestodes. Cestodes means which type of parasite? Have a look. The structure of cestode just like this. Cestodes, cestus, commonly known as tapeworm, or also known as ribbonworm. Tapeworm. So body is tape-like, dorso-ventrally flattened, and they have three parts. Number one, scolex. Scolex. Second is neck. This one, small part, and neck is followed by third part of the body, and this part is known as strobila. Strobila is the remaining part of the parasite. But strobila consists of many segments, and these segments are known as proglottids. Proglottids, these are the segment which forms this part of the parasite, that is third part of the parasite. So body is divided into scolex, neck and strobila. Strobila consists of three types of proglottids. Anterior one towards the neck region, and remember, neck is the zone of growth, or it is the budding zone, because these all segments are produced by the neck, this middle part. So strobila and all proglottid segments, these are produced by this part, that is neck region. And scolex is what? Scolex is the anterior most part of the cestode, which is provided with hooks as well as suckers. There are 4 suckers, and you know that the anterior projection of the scolex is known as rostrum. Rostrum, suppose this is rostrum, and rostrum is encircled by double row or single row of hooklets. And the size and shape of these hooks are of taxonomic importance. So on this basis you can discover a new species on which you can publish your research paper, right? So this is very important part. And in strobila there are 3 types of proglottid: immature proglottid, then mature proglottid, and gravid proglottid or ribed proglottid. So what structures can be seen in these proglottids? Immature proglottid, as the name implies, that they have no well developed immature form of reproductive organs. These are undifferentiated segments of cestodes. Immature proglottid, why these are known as mature proglottid? Because these are characterized by the presence of well-developed male and female reproductive organs. Therefore, these segments are known as mature proglottids. Gravid proglottids, these are the proglottids which are ripe, that is full of eggs. So there are no reproductive structures in these segments. So you can see that for the point of view of research, there are two parts of the body which are very important in cestode. Number one is calyx, because I have told you that the number of fruitlets, suckers, that is all cestodes can be divided into two major groups, that is Cyclophilidia and Pseudophilidia. Pseudophilidia different, these are different because diphyllobacillata, diphyllobacillus causing disease, diphyllobacillus belongs to Pseudophilidium. And what are the main differences? Pseudophilidians, these are anapolytic tapeworm, and Cyclophilidian apolytic tapeworm, and they show the phenomena of apolysis. That is the detachment of the gravid proglotid from the posterior region of the strobila. So gravid proglottids are detached from the posterior region of the body. These all cestodes, these are known as apolytic tapeworm, and this phenomena is known as apolysis. For example, Taenia soli. So shedding of the gravid proglotid occur in these tapeworm, therefore the size of the parasite is limited. But in case of anapolytic tapeworm, that is tapeworm belonging to Pseudophilidia group, so these are known as anapolytic tapeworm. You cannot differentiate gravid proglotid from mature proglotid. So shedding or detachment, it is do not occur in these cestodes. So how eggs comes out from the principle of definitive host? Eggs comes out from the uterine pore or birth pore. Uterine pore, also known as birth pore. It is found in the surface of the proglottid, and it is the opening of the uterus. From this pore, eggs come out, and they undergo further development. So this is the basic difference in apolytic tapeworm and anapolytic tapeworm. Segmentation is there, acraspidote and craspidote cestode. Craspidote cestode, that suppose this is the anterior segment, so anterior segment and posterior segment, in these segments overlapping is there. For example, if overlapping between segments is present, then the segmentation is known as craspidote, and these all cestodes are known as craspidote cestode. And if the segmentation is such type, then there is no overlapping. So these all segments and such type of cestodes are known as acraspidote. So cestodes are very important parasites, and they causes many diseases, and the first is Diphyllobothrium latum, broad tapeworm or fish tapeworm. It causes a very important anemia in a human being as well as other animals, because this parasite is not host specific, as in case of filarial worm. This parasite, this cestode, is found in human, dogs, cat, mink, deers and other fish eating. Remember, fish eating animal. And habitat is intestine. And the main characteristic feature is this, that these all parasites belonging to Pseudophilidia, they have no sucker. They have bothria. that is sucking groups. So Scolex is different. Scolex is devoid of a rostrum as well as hooks, no suckers, and sucking groups are there. So parasite, I have told you that identification of parasite is very important, because on the basis of identification you can discover a new species. And this is a very important point of your research work. Whether it is nematode, trustode, monogynia, digenetic trematode, arthropod parasites. So in case of Cyclophilidia, for example Taenia solium, they have suckers, rostella, hooklets. But in Pseudophilidia, there is a sucking group, Bothria, and no hooks. Life cycle is different, and eggs come out from the principal host by uterine pore or birth pore. But such pore is entirely absent in Cyclophilidia. Because Cyclophilidia, what happens? That the complete gravid proglotid is detached from the posterior end of the body. But this detachment, it is not found in case of Pseudophilidia system, right? So we will discuss here that imagine 3 to 10 meter long length. This parasite is very important. 3 to 10 meter long parasite is found in the intestine of the human being, and it consists of 3000 proglottids. Very long parasite. Why it is so long? Because no detachment take place. Therefore, Diphytobothium is the largest trustode found in the intestine of the human being, and many proglottids are there. Scolex is very important because it is provided with Bothria, sucking groups are there, and causes Bothiocephalus anemia, also known as diphyllobothriasis. Now next is Monogyia expansa. It is non-pathogenic but important parasites, of sheep, goat, cattle, found in the small intestine. In the practical class, usually we get this parasite found in the small intestine, and you can see here that there are two sets of reproductive organs. Double set of reproductive organs are there, and proglottids are much wider than long. They are much wider. So eggs are non-operculate and it is non-pathogenic, but it is usually found in these all animals. Taenia solium, very important, as you know, that pore tapeworm, also known pore tapeworm because it is found in pigs, humans, and small intestine, habitat is a small intestine. And that Scolex quadrate with diameter. But one important thing is that if you collect all the gravid proglottids and if you join, then the length will be more than the Diphyllobothy. But it do not occur because detachment is there, apolysis is there. So length of the parasite is limited. It has rostrum armed with double row of hooks, and it causes teniasis. Echinococcus granulosus, very important, and it causes hydrated disease because principal host horses, sheep, human being, pigs, and there are cysts, and these cysts are found in the different organs in all animals, and these hydrated cysts having two-layer membrane containing a fluid-like structure in their cavity. These are found in brain, intestine, liver, so causes a disease known as hydrated disease. Next is Dipyridium caninum, and this parasite is found in dogs, cats, foxes, occasionally human being, occasionally. And habitat is small intestine, and here you can see that rostrum is conical, which is armed with, provided with 30 to 150 hooks, 200 testes per proglotid, and these testes, very important, and you can see very clear structure of mature proglotid. You can see slide of this parasite, and it's are in capsule, and it causes chronic enteritis dipylidiasis, a disease, very important disease concerned with the intestine. Now nematode parasite. Nematode parasite, you can see here. Both ends are pointed, tapering. These parasites are round wall, commonly known as round wall, because when you cut a section, then you will find that the section is round in appearance, and flat ones, this is flat one, dorsoventrally flattened from dorsal and ventral side. But here round worm in nematodes, the section is round, therefore they are commonly known as round worm. Nema means thread, or those will form those parasites which are tapering at both ends, round in section, cross section. These all parasites are known as nematodes. And nematodes are they have cuticulum structure, so they have anterior as well as posterior part, and taxonomically important because these are provided with some important sensory structures, amphids on the anterior end and phasmids on the posterior end. These all chemoreceptors, sensory structures. And these all structures are of taxonomic importance. Number of papillae, number of phasmids, number of amphids, length of the intestine, position of the vulva, it is pre-equatorial or equatorial or post-equatorial. These are all terms belong to research. Because when we describe a new species, we mention all these terms. So what is the position of vulva? That it is equatorial. For example, if this parasite vulva position is there, then it is pre-equatorial. Vulva is pre-equatorial because it is towards the anterior end. If position of vulva is there, then it is equatorial in position. If vulva is here, then it is post-equatorial. So, important nematodes, parasite, here you can see, I have mentioned in this slide, that basically all nematodes belongs to two major groups, Aphasmidia and Phasmidia. Aphasmidia, that is, they have no phasmids and no caudal papillae. In male and X usually unsegmented with polar flux. You can see here that it is also known as adenophoria. So parasites, genus, important genus, which we will discuss, that is in point of view humans and domestic animals. Trichinella, that is Trichina form. Trichuris capillaris, that is Trichinella spinalis. Trichuris tricura. Whipwort, commonly known as whipwort, and Capillaria species. Cicadentia or Phasmidia. Here phasmids are present. Phasmids are the important structure, and they have numerous caudal papillae. You can see that the Rabbitoidea is a superfamily. In this Strongyloides parasite, it is kept, and species is Strongyloides stercoralis. Very important parasite of human being. Next is Strongyloidea. Here you can see that Ankylostomatoidea is a superfamily, and these all animals belonging to this superfamily, they have prominent buccal capsule with teeth or cutting plates. It is found in hookworm. Hookworm, that is Ankylostoma. Old word hookworm. New word hookworm, Nectar americanus. Here you can see Nectar americanus is known as new word hookworm, and Ankylostoma diurnale is known as old word hookworm. Now, Metastrongyloidea, it has only one species, Angiostrongylus catonensis, and these are tissue parasites found in the tissue of different animals, that is domestic animal as well as human being. Next is Ascaris, because these are large parasite, not large nematodes, and their mouth is provided with 3 lips in case of Ascaris lumbricoides, and other species is Anisakis simplex. So these belongs to the Ascaroidea. Oxyuroidea, they in this group, male has no caudal bursa-like structure, because bursa-like structure is found in Ankylostoma diurnale, hookworm. So on the basis of bursa, copulatory bursa, what is the function of the bursa? And either it is found in male or female, which animal it is found in male or female. Bursa is the characteristic feature of male parasite, because presence of we can differentiate male or female on the basis of presence of bursa, copulating bursa. So it is found in Ankylostoma diurnale, that is a hookworm. So Spiraloidea, that is Phylloidea, very important group, because these parasites are viviparous insect vector, and in this group, very important and very host specific parasite is found, and this is Wuchereria bancrofti, this one, phylloid worm. It is so specific that it is found only in human being, it has not been reported in any other mammal. It is found only in human being, lymphatics, and Wuchereria bancrofti, therefore it is very host specific parasite of human being. Next is Brugia melai. These are all filarian worms, commonly known as filarian worms, man and domestic animals. Dirophilaria, Loa, African eye worm. Manzanella persistens and Ozardi, these are the species of the Manzanella. Loa is very important, found in the eye of the animal, and therefore it is known as African eye worm. Onchocerca volvulus. It is also filarian worm found in human, and it is found in habitat is subcutaneous tissue. Therefore, these are tissue dwelling parasites. Dracunculoidea, it contains parasite Dracunculus medinensis, Medina worm or dragon worm. Because here females are very long, about 1 meter long, but males are very small. These are viviparous parasites, and larvae escape from the uterus of the female, and when it is ruptured, then principal or definitive host comes in contact with water, then water goes inside the uterus, and finally uterus get ruptured and larvae come out in the water, and this contaminated water is it is consumed by the principal host, right, containing the secondary host, that is Cyclops. So when the contaminated water is consumed by definitive host having cyclops, then the infection is established. So next is Gnathostoma, Spinocerebrum. These are important parasites having spiny head. Now next is arthropod parasites of human and domestic animals. Tick vector. Tick vector means mostly all the arthropod parasite, they act as a vector parasite. And vector parasite means vector are what? In the next lecture I will tell you. But vectors are the organism that transmits the parasites, pathogens from one host to another. So these all vectors are very important because these are responsible for the completion of the life cycle of the parasite. So here you can see that Bupillus emulatus and Bupillus microplus. This tick vector is important vector for Babesia bisemina. Etiolating agent is, and it causes a disease caused by this parasite, this Babesia. Texas cattle fever or bovine pyroplasmosis or red water fever. Dermacenter endorsonite is another tick, and it etiologic agent is rickettsia, and it causes disease Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Now mite vector, as you can see the picture of mite. Mite vector, for example, Trombicula, and the larvae of this mite, vector is for Rickettsia species, and it causes the disease scrub typhus. Next mite is Ornithonisus. This mite act as a vector for Coxiella species, and it causes Q fever. So you can see that arthropod parasite, they act as vector. Now you can see here these are very important ectoparasites, right? Pediculus, humanus means body louse, and Hematopinus tuberculatus. This parasite is found in buffaloes, cattle, and Hyoscurus crab louse. So it is found in the pelvic region. So these two species are found in human being. So this is all about for the important arthropod parasites. Now next lecture is on vector. Yes, this is mode of transmission of pathogens by vector. So mode of transmission of pathogens by vector. So we will discuss here what are the vectors, different type of vectors, and what are their types, and how do they transmit their pathogen or parasites from one animal to another animal. So here you can see. So vector borne diseases, you can see that accounts for more than 17% of all infectious disease. They cause 7 lakh deaths annually. WHO, according to WHO, World Health Organization, that every year there are deaths by these vector-borne diseases 17%, and about 7 lakh animals deaths occur because of these diseases. So these are caused by parasites, bacteria, viruses. These are the causing agent, and vectors transmit from one animal to another. So as a definition, Vectors, those are living organisms that can transmit infectious pathogens between humans or from animals to humans. These are the vectors. And you can see that most of the vector, many of these insects are blood sucking because their mouth parts are so modified to to collect their food, and most of the insects are hematophagous, blood sucking insects. So you can see that these vectors are responsible, they are capable of transmitting pathogen for the rest of their life, because their food is blood. Therefore, when they sucks the blood and they again sucks the blood, then finally the exchange of the parasite take place, and they can, in this way, they can transmit the parasite from person 1 to B and again B to A. This is very important, and you can see that many diseases are there. Important, malaria. You can click on Google and search that malaria is today in this modern age very important dreadful disease. Number 1, according to WHO, this is the data of WHO. And dengue fever. मॉस्किटो कम नहीं होंगे तो ये बीमारियां कम नहीं होंगी. Simple thing is this, that these all diseases are transmitted by vectors. So vector को control नहीं होगा. If you cannot control vector, then there is no depletion, no eradication of these all diseases, right? So on the next slide, here you can see that there are two vectors, biological vectors and mechanical vectors. Biological vectors, they can carry pathogens that can multiply within their bodies. Multiplication take place. If the multiplication of the pathogen is occurring in the body of the host, then such vectors are known as biological vectors, and these multiplied forms of the parasites, they can be delivered to a new host, and usually it is brought about by biting. Examples: most of the ticks and mosquitoes, sand fly, these all actually work as biological vector. Mechanical vector means they can pick up infectious agent on the external surface of the body, that is the outside of their body, and transmit them through the physical contact. Example: housefly, Musca domestica. This insect is carrier of a number of pathogens, hundreds of diseases. Imagine, hundreds of diseases are spread by housefly. The important vector. Mosquitoes, as you know, that there are three genera here. Aedes disease, it is the vector of chikungunya, viral pathogenic virus. Dengue fever, filariasis, as you know, parasitic disease. Rift Valley fever, yellow fever, Zika virus. Right, so it is transmitted by Aedes. Anopheles, it transmits lymphatic filariasis, parasitic disease. Malaria. Culex mosquito, it transmits Japanese encephalitis, a viral disease. Lymphatic filariasis. West Nile fever, which is a viral disease. So lymphatic filariasis is parasitic disease, and it is spread by vector is for these all diseases, Culex mosquitoes. Okay. Now next is aquatic snail. Disease bilharziasis or schistosomiasis. One of the important disease caused by cystosoma, that is blood flukes, and vectors are aquatic snail and parasitic disease, black flies, onchocerciasis. Onchocerca volvulus is the causative agent for this parasitic disease, and black flies, are the vector for this disease. Fleas, plague, right, transmitted from rat to humans. So lice, typhus, louse borne relapsing fever, bacterial, bacteria transmitted bacterial disease, sand flies, leishmaniasis, as you have in the previous slide, you have seen in the previous lecture. Sand flies fever, phlebotomus fever, ticks. These ticks are the vector for Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever, which is a viral disease, Lyme disease, relapsing fever, borreliasis, rickettsial disease, spotted fever or NQ fever, tick-borne encephalitis, and tularemia. These all diseases are transmitted by ticks from one person to another person. Now next is tritome bugs. These bugs are the vector for Chagas disease or American trypanosomiasis. And CC fly, Glossina palpalis. CC flies are the vector for the disease sleeping sickness or African trypanosomiasis. So we will discuss some important genera of these vectors here. Simulium. This fly actually it is found in England, Canada, and the region surrounding some Great Lakes. Onchocerca volvulus, a parasite, a nematode parasite, and it is found in human being and tissue dwelling parasite. It is transmitted by species of Cymbidium, and species S. damnosa is the vector for Onchocerca volvulus. And this species of fly actually breeds in very large liver and is small tributaries. And one protozoan parasite, that is Leucocytozoon species, it is also transmitted by this black flies. Right? Phlebotomus, sand fly. This is sand fly, and sand fly, it is geologically, or you can see it is scientifically known as Phlebotomus. Phlebotomus, more than 4 mm long, and only female fly contain the piercing type of mouth parts by which they can withdraw the blood and transmit the pathogen. So these are hematophagous, and males are non-parasitic. Right? They feed on different type of juices or fruits, flowers. So vector for the human infecting species, Leishmania. Leishmania is the pathogen which is transmitted by Phlebotomus, right? And also Donovan, Chinensis, many species, P. Chinensis and Phlebotomus sargentii, major vector in China and Africa, and other Tropica transmitted by Phlebotomus papatusai and Phlebotomus sargentii. These are the two important principal vector for this species of Leishmania. Now here you can see Culex pipiens, and major vector for filarial worm. Female Culex mosquito is the vector for filarial worm, that is Wuchereria bancrofti, and Dirofilaria immitis. So these parasites are transmitted by Culex species, and they transmit avian malaria, avian pox, encephalitis, and arbovirus is caused by arbovirus. So you can see that this is the picture of Culex mosquito. Now next is Aedes. Aedes you can see here, tiger mosquito, aggressive biter. Aggressive biter, it is known as aggressive biter. मार देंगे तब भी काटेगा. मच्छरों को देखा है ना, आप मार देते हैं लेकिन तब भी वो चिपटा रहता है. तो टाइगर मॉस्किटो, तो aggressive biter. So this mosquito is principal vector for yellow fever virus as well as one species, Aedes albopictus. This is very common and important species of Aedes, which don't fly long distances, but this species is aggressive biter and spreads many diseases, and these all mosquito, that is species, bite people and animals, and they live in and near homes or in neighboring woods. But Aegypti mosquito live indoor and outdoor, where Albopictus live outdoor, because their structure is so delicate that they can not fly very long, right? Now this is Anopheles. As you know, angle difference is there. So this is the picture of Anopheles mosquito. Quadrimaculatus, A. punctipenis, and other species. They are vicious feeder. They attack human being, cow, sheep, dog, horses, cat, even in avian fauna. An important vector for Plasmodium species. Female Anopheles, because in case of the male only mouth parts these are so modified to pierce and suck the blood. Chrysops, deer flies, these are very strong flies and they attack cattle, horses, deer, warm-blooded animals including human being. Tavanus, known as horse flies, and vector for Trypanosoma species. For example, Trypanosoma evensi. It causes Surra disease in horses, cattle, dogs, and the species which act as vector for this Trypanosoma species, Trabanus striatus. This is the vector for Trypanosoma evensi. Next is Glossina, CC fly. CC fly is a vector for Trypanosoma gambiensis, sleeping sickness. An important point is that here both males and females are hematophagous. Both males and females, they bite and they transmit, they act as vector. Milk gland is there for feeding larvae. Is one of the important arthropod where the milk glands are there, which are used for the feeding of the larvae. Glossina tarpaulus, major vector for Gambian trypanosomiasis. Glossina morsitans, major vector of Rhodesian trypanosomiasis. And another species is there, Glossina. This species is a vector for also Rhodesian trypanosomiasis. So this is all about for mode of transmission of pathogen by certain important vectors, right? So this is all about, I think कब आपका खत्म होता है 5 o'clock खत्म कर देते हो, तो देखते हैं अभी if you have time. So can we complete one more biology and life cycle, right?
सर अब नहीं हो पाएगा.
I think it would take only 10 minutes. Hmm? So we start out, it will be on tomorrow.
Sir
Tomorrow, because I have all the lectures, and these all lectures on my my YouTube channel, and you can read, watch, and all you can note down all these, right? So Leishmania's giardia, their biology life cycle, I think I will discuss tomorrow, right? Is there any query from your side? Tell me. You are free to discuss, you are free to ask anything.